Hello fellow book lovers, my name is Giselle and welcome to the Adventures of Giz. Today's video is going to be my belated April TBR. Since we are all in lockdown and right now South Africa has extended their lockdown until the 31st of April, we are going to be having a lot of reading time. So I decided to just do an April TBR because I'm also participating in the Magical Readathon, which I'm really excited for. So let's get started with my TBR. So this right here is the prompts for the Magical Readathon for April 2020. They have every Hogwarts subject. So I will be going through the prompts and the books that I have chosen for each of the prompts. I chose the subjects based on the books. So the first prompt is Ancient Ruins, and for Ancient Ruins the prompt is Heart prompt, which is read a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. And for this prompt I decided to choose A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kimmerer. I am a huge fan of the first book in the series and I really want to read the second one, so I decided this is the perfect opportunity to go ahead and read this stunning book. The first book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It is awesome. I absolutely adored the main characters, and in the second book we actually follow two different characters than we did in the first book. And the next subject is charms. For charms they chose the charm Lumos Maxima, and that means a book with a white cover. I had several options for this, so the options are Kingdom of Ash, Warcross, Ash Princess, and Restore Me. I have decided, however, to just read Restore Me for this. Restore Me is the fourth book in a series by Tahira Murphy, and I read Shatter Me in 1 week at the beginning of April. It was so good. I am obsessed with it. I really do want to read the next book, so here it is, and it just happened to be white with a white cover, so it fit into my Magical Readathon prompts. Next up we have Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is my favorite subject. For this subject the prompt was Grindylows, which is read a book set at sea or near the coast. I've actually already finished the books that I wanted to read for this prompt. So I finished both books in the duology, The Daughter of the Pirate King. I absolutely loved it. It's an amazing series about pirates and sirens, and it's absolutely fantastic, so much fun, and I read that at the beginning of April. It is just an amazing duology. The second book was absolutely brilliant, and since I've read it I have been in a serious piratey seafarer mood, so because of that I still have other options for this specific prompt. So these are the other books on my bookshelf that are pirate themed or sea themed that I haven't read yet. They just all look so good. I think I'm definitely going to read To Kill a Kingdom this month, and I really want to read Passengers as well. And apparently, according to a couple of people, A Conjuring of Light also has some pirates in it. So I'm really happy that I found some sea-themed books. For the herbology prompt, we have Mimbulus Mimbletonia, and that is a title starting with an M, and that is Mirage. And I have this stunning advanced reading copy and I've already started reading it, so I'm almost halfway actually. It's moving a little bit slow for me, but at the same time I still think it's really intriguing so far. I'm just waiting for the action to start happening, but I'm really enjoying it. Next up we have Potions, and for Potions the prompt was Shrinking Solution, read a book with less than 150 pages. It was so difficult to find a book that was that short, so for it I chose this amazing graphic style story that is written by Neil Gaiman and illustrated by Chris Rydell. In The Sleeper and the Spindle we basically have this fairy tale retelling with some plot twist to it. In The Sleeper and the Spindle we have this kingdom that is slowly falling asleep because of a curse put on them by a witch. It is just such an interesting version of this story because our main character is actually a queen from a neighboring kingdom, and it is just brilliant and really well done. I've already read it, so I've already done my Potions O.W.L, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it. For the Astronomy O.W.L, we have to read the entire book or most of the book at night. For this, I've already done this even though I wasn't really a fan of the book I was reading. For Astronomy, I read Fire and Bone by Rachel A. Marks, which is a paranormal urban fantasy. So I've already finished that, so I've done my astronomy O.W.L already. The prompt for divination is the third eye, which means that you should assign a number to books on your TBR and then get a random number generator to choose which book you read. So I have a pile of books which I was planning on reading in the next month or two, and here they are. Some of the other books are actually within other piles that I've already been through. On my phone, I have a list of them. There are 11 books on this specific TBR of mine, and what I'm going to do is I have a random number generator, and I will tell you right now which book I'm going to be reading for divination. Okay, so it says I need to read book number 8, and book number 8 is Ash Princess, so there we go. My divination book for the month is Ash Princess. And the last subject that I am doing is Transfiguration. For Transfiguration, we are doing the Animagus lecture, which means we have to read a book or series with shapeshifting in it. And for this, I have many options, as you can see. So my options are A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. Then we have A Throne of Swans. Then we have Falling Kingdoms, and I have no idea where shapeshifting is in this, but it was on the Magical Readathon website. Then we have Arch Enemies, and Arch Enemies is the second book in the Renegade series, and I know for a fact that there is one of the characters and she can shapeshift basically into a swarm of butterflies. And lastly, we have the last one that I found on the Magical Readathon prompts list, and that is The Night Circus. So for Transfigurations, I chose 2 books, and I'm definitely going to be reading both of them this month. Why not just read them for the readathon anyway? I chose Arch Enemies and Fallen Kingdoms. So that means I have 8 O.W.Ls which I will be doing, and for the rest of the month I've already finished a couple of books this month because, like I said, it's already the 10th of April, which means I've had 10 days of lockdown to read a lot. So I have read quite a few books, and here are the books I still plan to read that don't have to do with the Magical Readathon that I just feel like I should read. So I'm going back to my little pile over here that was for my divination. If I get time, I will read all of these. If not, let's see. So first up, we have The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkowski. And this just looks really, really good, really fun, and I'm really excited to read it because I've seen some rave reviews about this book. Then we have a book that I'm not sure if I'll read this month, but I will try, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. In this, we follow a girl whose brother is taken by soldiers of the kingdom, and she goes undercover as a slave to try and find him and rescue him. Just sounds so good. So if I do feel like reading this, I think I'll definitely be reading it in the next 20 days because I have more than enough time to be reading a ton of books. Then we have And I Darken by Kirsten White, and this is a Les Mis fantasy retelling, which sounds absolutely fantastic. So I really do want to read this. Then we have a nice, quick and short read, which is Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. And I've seen that this is a good series. I haven't seen a lot of rave reviews about it, but it just looks like a short, quick read. And I think it does look extremely fun, intriguing, intense, drama-filled, and that is all I ever want from a good book. Then we have a collection of short stories by my favorite author, which is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is just a bunch of stories which have characters in it that appear in later books in the series. So I did not read this before I read Empire of Storm. So before I read Kingdom of Ash, I've decided that I need to read this book. This month is the perfect month to go ahead and just read these amazing stories with some of my favorite characters, and I'm so excited. Then we have an oldie but a goodie, and that is Graceling by Kirsten Kishore. The main character has a grace, and her grace is the grace of killing, I believe, and this just sounds really interesting. I think there's a lot of death and a badass main character, and there's a little bit of a romance, so I'm all for it. And finally, we have The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. This is one of those books that I will read if I'm really in the mood for this period drama kind of vibe. It looks really good. I love a good old-fashioned time fantasy world, and it just looks really good, and I'm quite excited to read it. And like I said, it's also a nice short one, so most of the books that I've chosen for the month are short so that I can just get through a lot of the books on my TBR, and this is the perfect month to be doing it in. Just because of the lockdown, and I'm basically at home and doing nothing, reading, so why not? So there we have my very long April TBR. I am so excited for the rest of this month. I have read some amazing books already, and I have some amazing books that I'm going to be reading this month, and I'm really excited to just dive right into this gigantic pile of books. Let me know in the comments down below if you are participating in the Magical Readathon, and let me know what you're reading for some of the prompts, or just let me know in general what you're reading in the month if you're not participating in the readathon. I hope you have a fantastic day and a great week.